Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor McGlasson?
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Present.
Councilman Totori is not going to be present this evening. Councilman Ruthven?
Here.
Councilman Boyd?
Here.
Yes, I talked to him this morning.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to start tonight. I just want to start off. The first thing is that we will not be discussing short-term rentals at all tonight. We will begin discussing the short-term rentals again in September. I have been receiving comment, and I will read it at the next board meeting, but we are not discussing short-term rentals tonight. So just so everyone knows. Our first item on the agenda is EMS updates. Oh, sorry. On September 2nd. Okay? Yep. I invite Alex Roner, our EMS coordinator, up here to give us an update.
It's September 3rd.
Oh, September 3rd. Up.
Seconded something.
I'd like to start by asking, I hear some of the comments, but now that I'm here, if there's questions, maybe you guys have questions. Is there anything you want to know that's been burning questions about EMS, what we're doing, where we're going, where are we? Okay, yeah. So let's see where we are right now. Our new fly car, which is donated by the police department over to the highway department, came to us. Like, the town's been great. Everybody in the town has been great about making sure that we have the support we need to get this up and running. So the fly car is now out there. That's what we call it. It's a car that responds by itself with one person in it, which will be me. It's got our colors on it. It's got the patch on it. We're driving it around town. People are starting to see us. We got some swag going on. Like, we're starting to get the word out. We have brought in employees that have not been hired on the books yet, but they have signed up. They are excited, and they're going to be a part of this when we actually go live. The first ambulance is in the shop right now, waiting to get all pretty with the colors and the badges and everything. And as soon as that happens, we have a date with the state. We have been officially approved as a New York State EMS agency. We have a house number, and we are recognized. All of our paperwork has been signed off by our medical director. We have vendors set up for everything we could possibly need. Luckily, we're government, so we get things discounted, which is helpful all the time. What else do we have going on? The state will come out and they will inspect us and they will say, you're awesome, you're good to go. We have a tone with the county. We're part of the mutual aid plan. So as soon as we're live, we're able to call up the county and say, dispatch, and off we will go. I don't have an exact date. Things have been coming in bits and pieces. We're going to start construction on the substation. I think that's
Next item.
That's the next item on the list. We're excited. So hopefully by the end of this month, we should be rolling. No, they will be the theme, which is dark on the top, on the bottom, black with a bright green. They will be black and blue. The top part is blue, a light blue into a dark blue. But there's reflective. Everything's reflective. So the back will be the typical chevrons. There's been studies that green helps cut down on accidents. People see red and they freak out. Yeah, so. Anything else? No? Okay, guys, you no? Go away.
We'll do our, do you have a?
Yeah, I was just saying, just so it's the couple that like have 2 ambulances that run.
We will have 2 ambulances. One will be in service 24/7. Hopefully we get to a point where we need 2, but in the meantime, if I can get enough staff, I'd like to run the second ambulance to do things like transports, make arrangements with the nursing home, which puts a lot of pressure on the EMS system in general because they have so many people going to the hospital. We can do transports. I'm hoping down the line that we get, Medicare is trying to pay us to do treat and release, so we'll be able to do house visits, work with people, what resources they need, connect them to the resources so that they're not just getting in the ambulance, going to the hospital and doing that all over again. Hopefully that will generate some more revenue. been talking this week with Zoll, who makes AEDs. Everybody knows the AED, the shock thing. And Lexipol, who does our continuing education about grants. So, you know, we're going to try and do everything we can to bill appropriately and recoup as many funds as possible and get grants coming in, and we have a lot of support, so.
That was good.
Okay.
Now
It's
it's like-
24 hours, somebody's, weekly service for, that's great.
Yeah, 24 hours. And it is full-time and part-time only. There's no just a driver. Everybody on that ambulance is fully certified, New York State EMT or national registered.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the next item then? So Alex has gone out and gotten 3 bids in order to demo and renovate the substation. So 3 quotes, and the best option being James Liebler Inc. for a total of $14,000. Is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Any public comment? Alex, do you have anything to say on it? You're good?
No.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's get
Yeah.
it going. Thank you.
Make a motion to pass a resolution to approve the renovation of the Town of Kent Emergency Services Department substation. Whereas in connection with the formation of the Town of Kent Medical Service Department, EMS, the town has entered an agreement with the Lake Carmel Fire Department to house the EMS in an unused substation. And whereas in connection with the use of the substation, certain renovations need to be completed. And whereas consistent with the town's procurement policy, Alex Roner the EMS coordinator, has solicited written quotes for the project and received 3 in response. And whereas by letter dated August 2nd, 2024, Ms. Roner has recommended the town approve the lowest quote for the project submitted by James Liebler Inc. in the overall amount of $14,000. And whereas the town board wishes to accept Mrs. Roner's recommendation and approved quote of James Liebler Inc. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves the quote submitted by James Liebler Inc. for the project in the overall amount of $14,000, and be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby ratifies and approves any actions previously taken to give effect to this resolution, including the execution of the sublease agreement. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Bye.
Thank you. You can go back outside now.
Could you just tell people how they apply if they're interested in working with the
Sure. Call me. It's EMS@townofkentnewyork.gov. All of those emails will come directly to us, and we have flyers out everywhere. There's flyers, there's posters. Yeah, they can show up here, ring the bell, and we're happy to hand out an application. You can also go to the Town of Kent website. We actually have EMS department on there. If you go on that link, it will take you to our very humble area where there is a link to an application.
Thank you.
Now, Chief Owens, you've been around here long enough to know that she just answered a question that nobody in TV land heard you ask. You have to come up to the microphone to ask the question.
He wants to get out there and have another hot dog.
I know, me too. Yeah.
All right, our next item is with sanitation. Our contract is up with Wind Waste. We did call around and try to get other prices, and Wind Waste had the best for Lake Carmel sanitation. So I'm asking tonight that we go into an agreement with them for it's $133.86 per ton, and the recyclables are $94.50 per ton.
How does that compare to currently?
It's a 5% increase,
5%.
which is standard. I did try to fight them on it, and that was the best we could do. I threatened to call other companies, and I called other companies, and they were about 15% higher, so that's the deal we're gonna go with.
I don't see it on here.
So that's just one for you.
Does someone, you wanna
All right,
read this? Oh,
I make a motion to approve a resolution to approve a contract with the transfer station. Is that the right one?
yep, that's it.
Whereas the town board of the town of Kent is in receipt of a contract from Wind Waste Innovations to extend the current agreement to act as transfer station for waste disposal for the town of Kent Sanitation Department at the rate of $133.86 per ton of acceptable waste and $94.50 for single stream recyclables. And whereas the town board desires to authorize the town supervisor to execute the transfer station waste disposal agreement in the form annexed hereto and hereby incorporated herein. Now therefore be resolved that the town board accepts the agreement, and be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs this town supervisor to execute any and all documents, including the agreement, in a form satisfactory to the town attorney, if requested, and to take any and all other necessary or appropriate actions to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. This was the next one in line, that's why I was confused. This was the third one. What was this one about? It's not on the agenda.
It wasn't on the agenda, but the resolution was submitted today. So I
Because this is, Alex had sent this to Nancy, I guess. This is for what she had spoken with Julia. We need to make resolutions for ARPA funds. I have this one too that I had to add.
Right, so this is gonna be an add-on.
Yeah, so let me write that.
So
Okay. All right, our next items are with the highway department, so I invite our highway superintendent, Richie Athmer, up here.
Okay, the first item is I bought 4 vehicles at auction, government auction. Got some pretty good deals, 2 pickups, a small bucket truck, and a van for the sign truck, because the old sign truck we got for the county is about to fall apart. So I need approvals for those.
Okay. You want to do those first?
Sure.
Okay. Richie, we'll do one at a time if you're good with that.
Excuse me?
We're going to vote on this and then we'll move on to your next item.
That's the way you guys have been doing
Yep,
it.
is
So
that good with you?
yeah,
okay.
you're the boss.
Any public comment? Board comment?
these auctions, are they open to the public or just municipal auctions?
They're actually open to the public.
These are pretty good prices.
Yes, they have, they buy out complete fleets. They'll buy out like, I think there was a bunch of like, they bought like 60 Comcast trucks, the small bucket trucks. So we got a really good one with 73,000 miles on it. It's got a fiberglass. You'll see it around town. It's really good. Carmel's been buying a lot from up there. So, I was talking to Mike Stern down in Carmel. We took a drive up. I brought the 2 mechanics, and I think from now on, the way the pricing of vehicles are going to go, we're going to have to buy a lot of used stuff because plow trucks are ridiculous. They're over $250,000 for a plow truck. It's just not affordable anymore.
And you want to read? Sean?
Okay.
Right.
Make a motion for a resolution authorizing the purchase of secondhand supplies, materials, and equipment by auction by the Town of Kent Highway Department. Whereas the town board of the Town of Kent is in receipt of a request from the Town Highway Department for the purchase of secondhand supplies, materials, and equipment. And whereas by email dated July 18th, 2024, Richard Othmer, Highway Superintendent, informed the board of the purchases of the following secondhand vehicles. The 2012 GMC 1500 van. Bid number, read it out, just
I
say
would skip
noted.
the VIN numbers and just give the price.
Bid number as noted, 11,000. The total cost of the vehicle, $11,971.00. Second vehicle is a 2014 Dodge pickup truck 1500 series. Bid number as noted, total cost is $13,971.00. Third vehicle is a 2016 Dodge bucket truck 4500 series. VIN number as noted, total cost $29,876. The fourth vehicle is a 2016 Dodge pickup truck 3500 series. VIN number as noted, total cost $12,971.00. Hereafter, items 1 through and including 5 will collectively be referred to as the vehicles. Whereas section 103-6 of the General Municipal Law exempts from competitive bidding purchases of surplus or secondhand supplies, materials, or equipment from the federal government, state of New York, or any political subdivision. And whereas the town board desires to authorize the town highway department to purchase the vehicles at the prices indicated above. And now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the purchase of the vehicles at the prices indicated above. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is to hire new MEO for the vacancy in the highway department, Randy Ferrari. CDL's got everything. I'm stealing it from the county.
You know, this is like baseball. You gotta pay a contractual clause to steal them from other
I
municipalities.
give you a draft pick from Carmel High School in 3 years. But, yeah, so he's a good kid. I've known the family for a long time. His father and his, uncles all work for their highway department family, so he's good. He can operate anything. He's a good pickup. That's number 2. Do you want to?
Let's let Ann read that one, and then we'll go on to
Yep.
the next one.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution to hire a mechanical equipment operator for the town highway department. Whereas the highway superintendent, Richard Offmer, wishes to hire a mechanical equipment operator, MEO, in the highway department and has recommended the hiring of Randy Ferrari as MEO. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the recommendation of the superintendent of highways and hire Randy Ferrari, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Randy Ferrari as mechanical equipment operator in the highway department at the contractual rate of pay, subject to successful completion of all required background checks. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Third item, I just want to announce that we received from the DOT a month ago, another Bridge New York grant for the East Boyd's Road Bridge, which I'm very happy for $1,258,000. And we have 4 Bridge New York grants totaling $4,827,390. And these are good. We had to replace these things. They're so old, and they're all in the design stage. I got a call from the engineers the other day. They're getting ready to drill the test holes at the Nenham Road Bridge and the Sagamore Bridge to do the soil tests, so they're in the design stage. And I had a meeting last week at DOT about the Lake Louise Bridge, which we had a glitch thrown in it because the DEC has a regulation to put a wall for the road flooding. And they let me know it was going to cost extra money just for the design, but the DOT said I'm eligible for extra funds for that,
great.
for the design stage, not the wall itself. So that's on the move now. So we're moving forward, and we're going to try to Sagamore Road Bridge should be a pretty easy bridge to do. Nenham Road and East Boyd's, and I was hoping they got awarded at the same time. We're going to do them at the same time because we got to close the same roads. We got to close Nenham at both ends and East Boyd's, and you got to build the same coffer dams for both bridges. So I would not want to do one bridge, do all that, clean it up, and then have to cut off the same waterways because Nenham drains from Seven Hills Lake. So if you go out there, I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. So that's very good with the grants. We just finished paving South Knapp Court. A cost of $231,000. We did that last month. It hasn't been paved in over 50 years. We just finished Gypsy Trail, $274,000. There's a little bit left by the clubhouse, which I have to widen, so I couldn't do that this year. There's only a little bit of a road. And my guys and myself, we redid the dam on Gypsy Trail right below Smalley Corners. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but no one wanted to claim that little dam because if it breaks, it will wash out our road, but it basically goes into wetland. So the DEC did not consider it a priority. And I like to split the money across the town. So our next projects coming in late August, early September is I'm moving into Lake Carmel, where I'm going to be spending $260,000. Beachmont, Ridgeway, Sawmill, Vernon, Sedgwick, Dunwoody, Hartsdale, Hastings, and Scarsdale roads are going to be milled and paved. And then I have 21 more roads in Lake Carmel that we can't afford to do this year. But next year they got to be on my hit list because they're literally falling apart. So, and that's about it, unless there's any questions. Good.
When you go into the Gypsy Trail Club, I know the section. I drove up there the other day. You gotta talk to those homeowners about moving the rock wall. The rock walls, it's so narrow with the rock walls on both sides.
Well,
of
it's
the
in
road.
our right of way. I talked to not the caretaker. He's the club manager. And I said, we got to widen it because when you bring there's a lot of accidents there. It's
very
so
narrow.
thin. So I'm going to stockpile the field stone and we're going to widen it. I don't know, by the clubhouse here, like 3 or 4 feet. and they're gonna hire someone to rebuild a drywall on their property, but we have to do it, you know, it's, we have to do it, and then as you come over the little ridge, it's tough, because there's some, you know, a lot of people build walls and fences in the right of way, and they spent a lot of money on it, so I try to, you know, work with them as much as possible, so if I, you know, if over here I have to, I can widen it on the right side, I will, and not touch the other side, and, you know, so, to answer your question, I've spoken to him about it.
We drove through there the other day, you know where the little trap house is that played
Yeah.
house? There was a huge black bear walking across that lawn at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Tell you, the dam was, we ripped it apart, it was full of snakes.
Was it really?
Oh, my gosh. All right, good, everybody?
All right. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda is from Recreation. With the promotion of Edwin Swanson to crew chief a couple weeks ago, we have an opening, and we are recommending hiring Vladimir Vasilishin as a park maintenance worker to be starting tomorrow. What's wrong?
I'll have that.
Any comments?
What's the hourly rate?
It's as per the union contract.
Here it is. Here. You know, first.
No? Okay, I make a motion to hire Vladimir Vasilishin as a park maintenance worker to start full-time on Wednesday, August 7th, and in pursuant with the current contract with the Teamsters. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
There's a resolution.
Oh,
I found it.
No
It was
one
a-
had.
It was a couple back from, whatever. And I haven't heard pronounce that name anyway.
It works just fine, either way.
Okay.
all right, thank you. That's not how you pronounce it either, so, but Vlad, that's
Glad.
okay. The next item, I am very excited to finally be able to approve it, or ask for the approval tonight. It is to award the bid for the Memorial Park pedestrian bridge for the work there for the broken bridge in Lake Carmel. We had bid openings a few weeks ago. The engineers looked over everything, and the lowest bidder was also the best option for us. And so with that, tonight, I am asking that we appoint the bid to Kingston Equipment Rental Baker Brothers Excavating.
Great.
Any comments other than thank God?
Thank God.
Any public comments other than thank
You're
God?
gonna ask a question about FEMA, you're gonna ask somebody to repeat it.
Okay.
FEMA going to be submitted to FEMA?
Yes. Yes, this is what we had
So-
to do in order to prove to FEMA exactly how much it was going to cost.
But let's clarify. I've been in that meeting. We are still negotiating with FEMA. They still have an issue with it, but one way or the other, we have to put the bridge back in place. The amount we get from FEMA is still up for negotiation. This is substantially higher than their first offer to us, but they're.
But we've proven to them with all these
Yeah.
bids that that's in line with how, how
That was
much it
prior
is.
to this bid
Yes.
package going out. What they offered wasn't at this amount. All right?
Okay.
All right, I make a motion to pass a resolution awarding a bid for Memorial Park pedestrian bridge replacement. Whereas the town of Kent duly advertised for proposals for replacement of the town of Kent Memorial Park pedestrian bridge, and whereas the bids were open and publicly read, and whereas by the letter dated July 24th, 2024, Barton and LaJudas tabulated the bids, checked references, and has recommended the approval of the lowest bidder, Kingston Equipment Rental Baker Brothers Excavating, for the bid total of $729,000. And the town board wishes to accept the recommendation and the bid submitted by Kingston Equipment Rental Baker Brothers Excavating. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the bid of Kingston Equipment Rental Baker Brothers Excavating as further detailed above, and be it further resolved, the town supervisor is authorized and directed to execute any agreements in connection with the above. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is a request from the Zoning Board of Appeals asking us to accept the resignation of Travis Hunt as a regular member and to appoint, let's see, Vivian Gerardo as the alternate member and to replace Theodore Bosworth to a regular member on the zoning board. So I ask the board just to approve that tonight.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution appointing a member and alternate member to the zoning board of appeals. Whereas by memorandum dated July 24th, 2024, Gordon Muffio, Chairman, and the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals have recommended 1, Theodore Bosworth to fill the open term of Travis Hunt as a member of the ZBA, and such term is set to expire on December 31st, 2026, and 2, Vivian Jurado to be appointed to serve as alternate member to the ZBA, and whereas the town board wishes to accept the Zoning Board of Appeals recommendations, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby appoints Theodore Bosworth to fill the open term of Travis Hunt as member of the ZBA until December 31st, 2026, and Vivian Jurado to be appointed to serve as alternate member to the ZBA. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item is for the library. Carol, do you want to come up and talk about the steps quickly, just so that we're going to approve tonight to get them fixed, but you can just let everyone know that what's going on.
We are grateful to you for looking into fixing the steps that go from the program room of the library to the parking lot. Over time, the concrete has broken up because of frequent freezing and thawing to the point where the metal edges no longer are attached and there's a serious tripping hazard. We have it taped off. Often people are leaving by that door and using those steps in the evening, and now that it's starting to get dark earlier, it's important that the steps be fixed if possible.
And we went out, we tried to get 4 bids, only 2 people answered, and the lowest bid being Vincent Masonry and Landscaping for an amount of $2,200.
Thank
But
you very much.
I think it's a necessity, especially because unfortunately cold weather will be here before we know it too, and it gets slippery, so. All right, well,
Thank
thank
Also
you.
include the guardrail too, right? The guardrail where it goes into the concrete, or is it just the steps?
I think it's just the steps. I think the guardrails are still sturdy, but the steps definitely have become a tripping hazard.
I know I was looking at Adam one day over there, some of the guardrails, they were,
They're not perfect.
Yeah.
I think they're still strong. I'll double check them tomorrow just to be
Yeah.
positive.
might as well,
But
right? Safety agent.
yes, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
thank you.
And do you have that one?
I'm looking for it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just found it.
Okay.
Well,
Do you have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
got it. Make a motion for a resolution to approve the library step repair. Whereas Adam Pavelka, town hall maintenance worker, requested quotes for the repair of the library steps consistent with the town procurement policy, and received 2 quotes in response. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the quote of Vincent Masonry and Landscaping to repair the steps at the overall cost of $2,200. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves the quote submitted by Vincetti, I don't know if that's Vincetti Masonry and Landscaping for the repair of the library steps at the cost of $2,200. And be further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby ratifies and approves any action that's previously taken to give effect to this resolution. I make this resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We jump back on this.
Yeah, we can.
All right, there was another item for the highway department. I just spoke with the highway superintendent about it. It's just really a bookkeeping issue, but we have to pass a resolution for, to authorize the supervisor to be the
EBO.
EBO, I'm not sure, look at, basically, it's for
administrator.
reporting, it's for reporting stuff on the computer for projects that we get federal and state monies from, I would.
Yeah, it's equal business opportunities, that there's fair play
Right,
on all contracts, that everybody gets the bid, and you have to have one person, and I'm not the computer guy to send it to, believe me, so it's gonna go to Jamie's office, the CEO.
so it's just a formality we gotta get.
That we complied with all the
Right.
federal
Right.
requirements.
Great, thank you, Richie. I'd like to make a motion to pass a resolution identifying the town supervisor as the responsible local official authorized to access New York State DOT's EBO system, whereas the New York State Department of Transportation has implemented a web-based reporting system called the Equitable Business Opportunities EBO to streamline and satisfy Title VI Civil Rights Reporting Requirements for federal aid locally sponsored contracts, and whereas New York State DOT requires that each local municipality has a sub-recipient to New York State DOT or federal funds and sponsor of federal aid contracts to identify a single primary user in order to access the use the system for Title VI compliance reporting requirements. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby identifies Jamie McGlass and town supervisor as the town's responsible local official authorized to access the EBO system as the town's EBO administrator, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. I make this resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item is from the police department. They are asking for the approval to purchase a 2023 Chevy Tahoe. I invite our chief up to talk about the new car.
Got to come up here either way. Thank you. So we are looking to purchase a 2023 Chevy Tahoe for a command vehicle. The monies would come from the last car that one of the officers was hit by another person. The insurance company totaled it out, paid the replacement value of it, $67,000. So we have enough money to purchase the Tahoe from that. And we would use it as a command vehicle at incidents. The lieutenant will be using it.
We got enough money.
Good.
Impressive.
Like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
And make a motion for resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe SSV. Whereas the town board of the town of Kent is in receipt of a request dated August 1st, 2024 from the chief of police, Kevin Owens, to purchase a 2023 Chevy Tahoe SSV, the police vehicle known as, a copy of which is requested annexed here to and incorporated herein by reference. And whereas General Municipal Law 103-16 exempts purchase contracts over $20,000 from competitive bidding when such equipment is purchased through contract led by any county of the state of New York. And whereas specifications annexed hereto indicate the police vehicle is being purchased under a contract awarded by New York State. And whereas in accordance with the town's procurement policy and the general municipal law, the town board wishes to authorize the purchase of the police vehicle through contract awarded by New York State. Now therefore, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and approves the purchase of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe SSV for the purchase price of $67,745.35 from Ultratech Equipment and Uplifting. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I received a letter from Kenneth Lausinger, who is the chief of the Lake Carmel Fire Department, asking us to appoint 3 new probationary members to the active role of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. The members are Sean Flaherty, Michael Gallo, and Stephen Hefner. I'm asking the board tonight to approve these 3 new members, which is always nice to see because it's not easy to get volunteers.
All right.
I think we're all good. I don't.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution accepting new members to the Lake Carmel Fire Department. Whereas the Lake Carmel Fire Department has recommended the acceptance of Sean D. Flaherty, Michael G. Gallo, and Stephen Hefner as new probationary members of the Lake Carmel Fire Department, and whereas the town board of the town of Kent wishes to accept the recommendations of the Lake Carmel Fire Department, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts and welcomes Sean D. Flaherty, Michael G. Gallo, and Stephen Hefner as new probationary members of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item is for the Lake Carmel Dam. We had been working with Inside Engineering, and then it became necessary for us to go to directly to an engineering company that specialized in dams. So tonight I'm asking for the approval of Schnabel to continue the engineering work on the dam.
And we should point out that that's the firm that actually subcontracted with Insight to do the initial study on the condition of the dam.
This streamlines it a little more, makes things a little easier. And we do have the money for this from grants that we've received.
Good.
Yeah. Any public comment?
I make a motion to pass a resolution accepting a proposal for rehabilitation of the Lake Carmel Dam. Whereas by resolution dated June 4th, 2024, the town board approved proposals for an on-call environmental general architectural engineering services, including the proposals of Insight Engineering, Surveying and Landscape Architecture PC, and Schnabel Engineering PE. And whereas the town is in receipt of a proposal of Schnabel Engineering PE dated July 29th, 2024, to provide engineering and surveying services in conjunction with Insight Engineering, Surveying and Landscape Architecture PC in connection with the rehabilitation of the Lake Carmel Dam. A copy of said proposal is annexed hereto and hereby incorporated herein. Whereas the town board wishes to accept a proposal for the cumulative sum of $1,254 consistent with the proposal. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the proposal for rehabilitation of the Lake Carmel Dam as further detailed above. And it is further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to add an item to the agenda for ARPA funds.
Second.
No, before that, just one thing I just want to say about the lake. So it says rehabilitation, but the reality is it's just engineering. We're not doing no repairs, no nothing like that. And then so once they figure out the engineering side of it, then we can apply to actually get a repair.
We actually have a grant application going into WQIP for repair. By the time we get word about that, the engineering work will be well underway. And we're hoping that the fact that we're starting the engineering will make us more competitive for the repair funds.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay. It's second, right? All in
Second.
favor? Aye, okay. So as people may or may not know, when we use ARPA funds, we have to have resolutions to go with them. We've approved ARPA funds, but we haven't done the resolutions. So tonight, just to get a little housekeeping done so that we have everything in order, I'm asking the board to approve for ARPA $85,651 for the Lake Carmel walking path, $45,000 for the match for the pedestrian and cycling plan, and $250,000 for ARPA for EMS.
May we add
This is-
one more thing?
Yes.
We had talked about the groundwater protection plan going back onto ARPA after all, and also the digital mapping tools for the NRI. I think we know everybody about that. I don't know if we want to address that tonight or next meeting.
Do we have, so these are the numbers from Yulia that I have. Do we
Right.
want to wait till the 20th, or do we want to do them tonight? All of them.
You have the numbers.
Well, what we should discuss and make a decision on is I have three very different quotes, which I had emailed, I think just to you and Jamie, for the digital mapping. We have a web designer who did our Climate Smart website who says he could do it for under $2,000. We also had a quote for the company that does our ImageMate software where it would be integrated with ImageMate, and that mapping tool would cost $10,800, and then we had a higher quote from Labelle. So maybe we should wait and vote on this on the 20th, and you all can think about it a little bit. And then the groundwater protection plan, I think, was $33,000, something like that. We had originally put it on ARPA. Then we tried to get funding through CREST, and we were told that what we wanted to do with CREST would be acceptable. And then at the last minute, DASNY pulled the plug and said, no, it's not acceptable because the software component can't be funded. So that's why we wanted to swap it back onto ARPA. So that's where that one sits.
What's the dollar?
I think it's 33 with the maps.
But we don't know the exact number.
We can just pull that out.
We have time to wait till next week.
Sure.
Okay, or 2 weeks from now. Okay.
All right, I'll do the resolution. I'm gonna, can
Yeah.
I add everything into the resolution?
Swing it all into one.
Okay,
You can do it by motion too. if you
okay. And Lana, I'll give you all my notes. I'll give you all my notes when we're done.
You're just gonna use this resolution and add those.
Add those two amounts, yes.
Okay, I just want to check the number because I had asked Steve Winkley to give me an updated proposal because that one was from a number of months ago. And I'm not sure that he did. I'm just looking for it. Sorry for the delay.
I'm gonna let Sue comment
Let Ann
While you-
finish.
while she's looking.
This looks like something out of my grandmother's recipe box.
Okay.
Library card.
Sue Kotzer, Town of Kent. Jamie, I heard you say 85,000
$85,651
for the
For the-
walking bridge.
yes, for the
But-
walking path.
Walking path, a walking path, so that's not the bridge.
No, that's not
Okay,
the bridge. The
separate.
bridge is, the walking bridge is FEMA.
Okay, that's what I'm wanting to clear.
Add
up.
another
And
zero.
what was the
so it's
45,000
walking
for?
The 45,000 is the match for the pedestrian and cycling plan.
Pedestrian. Okay, that's all in Lake Carmel.
No, the pedestrian and cycling plan isn't necessarily Lake Carmel, right? It comes up.
The pedestrian cycling plan is for the entire town,
Okay,
and you will be hearing more about that soon because the project is starting and we're going to be going into sort of a community comment and engagement phase. The theme is going to be Connect Kent, and there will be lots of ways for residents to tell us the areas that they think we should be interconnecting and what that should look like.
okay. And the
And of course, that
200,
doesn't mean we'll actually be building these things, but getting this plan and report is a first step to being able to get funding to make those improvements in the future to make our town more walkable, pedestrian friendly and bike.
and the 250,000 is for
That is for the EMS.
EMS?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
That's our startup.
Yeah.
Because then once we're started, we'll start.
Groundwater is 33K.
Okay. Do we
And
want to?
then it's an open question what you want to do, what the board wants to do about the digital tools. I mean, we can get this done for under $2,000 if we go with the person who did the Climate Smart website. But if you want it integrated with ImageMate, we're looking at spending more like 11,000. I'm not sure how important that integration is. The idea with this tool is you go on the website, you put in your parcel number or address, and you have access to all the map layers from our NRI document, from the Natural Resources Inventory. So, hydrology, wetlands, slopes, all of that data will be available to anybody through this website.
Let's talk about it more. I just, you're gonna have to, on a side note, explain the difference between the 2,000 and the 10,000 a little better, but I don't think that would be the.
I think we need to talk with our assessor, but I know we have a tool called ImageMate that the assessor uses.
Right.
And if the company that has ImageMate does this website, then the two would be integrated in some way that they otherwise wouldn't be. But I'm not sure how important that is, to be honest.
So we got some questions there.
And Ann, I'm sorry, it was 33,000 for the
For the
groundwater.
groundwater protection plan
Okay. Thank you.
with maps, which would also be integrated in this digital tool.
Okay. I make a motion, whereas the American Rescue Plan Act of 2022 provided fiscal recovery funds to county governments as well as other forms of government pursuant to the U.S. Department of Treasury compliance and reporting guidelines for the purpose of alleviating the fiscal stress caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas the town of Kent has received funding from ARPA, I guess it should say the town of Kent and Putnam County has received funding from ARPA. And whereas the town board wishes to allocate $250,000 to the ARPA funds to the formation and operation of the Town of Kent EMS Medical Services Department, $85,651 to the Lake Carmel walking path, $45,000 for the pedestrian and cycling plan, and $33,000 for the groundwater protection plan. Be it further resolved, Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby ratifies and approves any actions previously taken to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, you're up. You're up.
Maybe we should talk with our assessor about, trying to understand a little more about how it would work if it were integrated with ImageMate as opposed to not.
Can you send an email out to him and ask him to, in his response, to CC it back to all this so we can kind of
All right,
understand it a little better?
I will email that.
Thank you.
All right, I got two lists of vouchers tonight.
Two?
Yeah, July and August. I asked the board to approve the following vouchers from July 18th, 2024. Barton and LaJudas DPC, $14,550 for the bike and pedestrian improvements. Duke Fence, $6,460 for Beach 7 fence. Duchess Metal, $12,500 for steel road plates. GAR Associates, $35,000 for contract billing reassessment. Hogan, Rossi, and Lagori, $3,213.34 for June 2024 out of the retainer. Joe Ciccione, how do you say that? Ciccione's Chrysler Complex, $44,595 for the 2023 Dodge Durango for the police. Cullick Arms and Outfitters, $9,746.19 for sights for the firearms. Managed Technologies of New York, $2,769.24 for IT support from 7/1 to 7/14. Mazada Catering, $2,575 for the Lake Carmel Summer Festival. New York State Department of Civil Service, $278,810.19 for July health insurance. NYSEG, $6,788.84 for electric for the police department. Laura Roberts, $3,240 for the June prosecutor. Upstate Auto Sales, $29,876 for the 2026 Dodge Bucket. 2026 Dodge Bucket truck? Is that right?
I think that's the wrong year. That's
It's the
one
wrong
you just
year.
Approved, right?
Right.
I think it was 2016 also.
I think it was 2016.
16, yeah.
All right, 2016 Dodge Bucket truck and $12,971 for the 2016 Dodge 3500. Whitmer Public Safety Group, $3,759.58 for holsters and $13,212.68 for guns. I ask the board to approve as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, the next set is, I ask the board to approve the following vouchers from August 6, 2024. All-season property maintenance, $4,750 for the May, July cemetery mowing. Barton and LaJudas, $8,500 for the Water District, and $16,725.31 for Lake Carmel FEMA. Cornerstone Associates, $12,500 for the preparation of the stormwater plan, custom bandage, $10,049.96 for tires. DeBella Electric, $2,600 for conduit, wiring, welder, outlets. Eline Financial Services, $6,982.26 for the July credit card. Facilities Maintenance Corporation, $3,418.75 for July cleaning. GAR Associates, $35,000 for contract billing for the reassessment. GenServe, $4,030.28 for the repair to the police department generator. Global Montello Group, $4,887.36 for diesel and $3,450.93 for diesel. July 4th ever fireworks, $2,150 for the final payment for the fireworks. Kent Public Library, $5,700 for computers from ARPA funding. M&M Precast, $2,944 for dry wells. Managed Technologies, $8,346.39 for hardware for the EMS station. $2,769.24 for IT support from 7/15 to 7/28. Millennium Strategies, $3,500 for grant services for July, $3,500 for grant services for May. Laura Roberts, $3,105 for the July prosecutor. State Comptroller, $41,918 for the Justice Court for April, and $39,318 for the Justice Court for May. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $24,105.02 for chargebacks for the highway in June, $2,809.23 for the chargebacks for sanitation in June, $2,676.21 for the chargebacks to the police in June. Tri-County Catering, $8,900 for the dump truck for sand and paint. Upstate Auto Sales, $11,971 for the 2012 GMC van, $13,971 for the 2014 Ram pickup. Van Dewater and Van Dewater, $3,689.60 for Lento versus Town of Kent. Wind Waste, $11,452.26 for Lake Carmel Garbage, $9,853.78 for Lake Carmel Garbage, and $5,849.37 for Lake Carmel Garbage. I ask the board to approve as read.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
that was 2016.
That was a mouthful.
A couple of announcements. As everyone could see when they walked in, we're having our National Night Out outside. It's going great. I'm sure when we leave here, we can all still grab a hot dog and some ice cream on the way out. Thank you to our police chief and all the officers that have worked. We've been working on this for a very, very long time. And they all did a wonderful job, so thank you. And we were supposed to have movie night tonight, but unfortunately, we think it's going to rain. I'm not really sure. So movie night will now be next Wednesday. We'll be showing Zootopia. And next, I just want to get the date right. Next Saturday, which is the 17th, we will be having our last farmers market of the year. So make sure you come on out, 10 to 2 on the 17th. Any other announcements? And I know you have.
In Arlington Library announcements, in literally 3 minutes, you can stop in at the library for a book discussion.
Oh, I think she did that already.
Oh, it says 6:30
I know, but
PM.
because
Okay,
we
no.
bumped everything up, so it, right, Kevin, it happened already?
No, it actually
Oh, oh, okay.
It looks like a great Bruno, chief of police. Smart, brave, handsome, modest, and a great cook.
Sounds like our chief.
You can learn about the challenges and rewards of being a policeman in a small town. And then I also wanted to mention quickly, there's a resume workshop for teens that they've had 2 already, but one is tomorrow at 2 p.m. and then September 18th at 5 p.m. For teens to learn how to create a resume, practice interview skills, and so forth. Fantastic opportunity. And obviously, there's a lot more on the library website. Please check it out. Thank you.
Any public comment?
Hi, I'll be very brief. My name is Getz Obstfeld, and I'm the president of the Sagamore Lake Sagamore Community Association. And I understand that I want to thank actually the board for scheduling a session about the short-term rental situation on September 3rd, because there is a lot of concern about that, as you probably know. And I know that there have been quite a few letters that have already been submitted to the board. And I would just ask that all of you have a chance to read through them before the September 3rd meeting. I got a copy of some of them, and they're truly heartfelt feelings that community members have. I just had a quick question. Is the impetus for this coming up as a result of the legislation that was passed by the state regarding short-term rentals that was passed? Well, it was passed by the legislature in June, but it hasn't been signed by the governor yet. Is that really what this is all about?
It came about because it had become an issue in the town of Kent. So that's why we started thinking that we should look at it and look at, how we regulate or don't regulate it. So that's how this came. And the only reason we're not speaking about it tonight is because I had gotten all those emails and I responded back to all of them saying thank you, and we would talk about it in September. So that's why that's why we're not talking about it tonight, because it's just not fair to all those people that I said we're not talking about it. So.
No problem at all. No problem.
But yes, so nothing's decided yet. It'll be, and August is a difficult month to talk about things like this that are important because people are on vacation. Everyone has something going on. So the discussion will start again in September, and we'll go from there.
Right. I don't disagree, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
The direct answer was no, it has nothing to do with what the state passed. It has to do with our residents in the town of Kent who are coming to the town and complaining about things happening in their own neighborhoods.
Right. Well, I think we need to be cognizant of the fact that the state did pass legislation with some time deadlines that we have to be aware of. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would you mind forwarding that to me? I have that.
Oh, I can
that
forward.
website.
I have everything.
Thank you.
Good.
Everyone's good? Everyone go out and get another, And you know what time the library closes? You have the website up.
I should know. I just closed it.
I think it might be 7. We think it's 7. You have time to get a hot dog and go to the library. Maybe an ice cream too, if you eat quick. Yes.
I make a motion to adjourn to the hot dog stand.
Second. All in favor? Thank you, everyone.